April 10th, 2022, 0:02 a.m., Pyongyang time. In the span of 20 milliseconds faster than a blink, an entire nation vanished from the internet. No websites, no emails, no propaganda, no digital pulse. The world's most secretive regime digitally decapitated. And it wasn't war. It wasn't sabotage. It wasn't even a nation state. It was him, a 26-year-old dropout. No formal training, no weapons, just code. He called himself GhostPillow. His reason? Not money, not fame, but something far more dangerous. A point. This is a true story of the American who took down a country from his basement and disappeared. Paul Cyber signing and exposing Case File 009, the case that shook the intelligence world. North Korea went dark in 20 milliseconds into night. I'll show you how one man, one script, and one decision rewrote the rules of cyberwar. Let's dive in. No one in North Korea could access a single server. Intelligence agencies around the world screamed cyberwar. Was it China? Russia? A secret Korean faction? The truth was far stranger. Tonight on Paul's Cyber Files, the unbelievable but true story of one American in pajamas who took down an entire nation's internet to make a point. It's a story of power, ethics, digital literacy, and why you need to care. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. Paul's Cyber Files does not condone illegal hacking or unauthorized cyber attacks. Our goal is public protection, awareness, and digital literacy. Any resemblance to real persons or events is based on available sources. Viewer discretion advised. Now, before we introduce our lone socks-wearing hacker, let's set the scene. In 2021 to 2022, tensions on the Korean peninsula were rising. North Korea had tested missiles. RE mid-level sanctions were tightening. Most shocking, their notoriously closed-off internet. Control by the state ceased on April 10th, 2022. Government websites, email systems, intranet, all dead. No one could predict how deeply offline they went. Even internal state intranet had a meltdown. Kwangmyong, their domestic internet, was unreachable. It sent shockwaves. Was North Korea itself behind a security reset? Or an external nation state? Intelligence agencies worldwide scrambled China, Russia, South Korea's cyber legion? But the real trigger was a solo American hacker, a nobody from suburban USA, in pajamas, working from his basement. Who is Perry, aka GhostPillow? The hacker. Call him Perry, never wanted the fame. He was mid-20s, college dropout, fascinated by computers. Not a cyber criminal mastermind, but a curious technologist. By 2022, he built some private tools for network scanning and packet injection. Nothing criminal, yet. This Perry spent nights poking at insecure servers, misconfigured routers, usually to learn. Then, in early April, he stumbled upon an open port belonging to North Korea's Kwangmyong intranet. It started innocently. He thought he'd found a test server. But then, Perry realized the scope of misconfigured uplink on a national firewall. One wrong packet could shut everything down. He felt a moral conflict. He could go public. He could just post, "I found it." Or use it to show the world that even the most closed-off regimes aren't safe. It was April 8th. Perry wrote a small script. Crafted packets designed to overload the gateway, designed to collapse the routing table at the exact moment when North Korea's state DNS servers would reboot. Sympathetic denial of service, but targeted at state infrastructure, not citizens. He tested locally, then remotely via proxy. On April 9th, he gave himself a time lock, midnight KST. He hit send, 2 packets, 20 milliseconds apart, enough to trigger a chain reaction in the router firmware. And then, at 0:02 April 10th, 2022, North Korea went offline. Monitoring stations from Seoul to Tokyo registered zero traffic from .kp networks. An entire country cut off. Governments panicked. Was this a new form of cyber war? A surgical strike? A test run before launching missiles? Meanwhile, Perry watched from his basement stunned. He expected backlash, international warrants. But nothing happened. because he disguised his IP behind layers of anonymizers. He remained GhostPillow. The news broke quickly. South Korea's NCSC issued a high-level alert. The CIA, GCHQ, Mossad, they mobilized cyber defense crews. Headlines read, "Cyberwar, it's North Korea." But experts began noticing clues, timing of packets, odd traces back to random U.S. proxy pools. No state toolkit. Intelligence analysts said, this didn't feel like China or Russia. This felt like someone testing them. North Korea scrambled. They blamed hostile U.S. forces, called for retaliation. But behind the screens, governments traced the attack to an individual. Yet no one owned it publicly. Until it was May 3rd, 2022. A post appeared on a deep web forum. "I made North Korea's net go dark. Here's how and why. Signed, GhostPillow." In the post, he detailed the tech. The port, the firmware, the script. Dangerous. Yes, but published. He said the goal wasn't to destroy, but to open eyes, to show vulnerability even in the most secretive regimes. The post went viral in cybersecurity communities. Some praised the courage. Others were furious, reckless vigilante hacking. Meanwhile, law enforcement closed in. Let's break it down. Ethically, GhostPillow forced a regime into digital introspection. He claimed it wasn't personal, but did he break the rules? Absolutely. North Korea's infrastructure was sovereign territory. He could be charged under CFA, international cyber law. Even if you're exposing vulnerabilities, doing so without permission is illegal. Whether the victim is a nation state, a corporation, or an individual, no one's above the law. But what about public interest? He did spark conversations and reforms. In South Korea, in Japan, governments re-examined cross-border firewall policies. Private companies updated firmware quicker. His demo became a cautionary tale. Before we continue, if you care about staying safe in a digital world, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. On this channel, we explore how the internet works, how to protect yourself, and why moments like this matter. Stay informed, stay secure, click now. Time for a deep dive. Let's break down the tech. North Korea's internet sits behind several layers: country backbone, state firewall, application servers. The weak link? Misconfigured edge router firmware from an outdated vendor. Perry realized a specific packet sequence could reset the session table and trigger a buffer overflow. This didn't just block access. It crashed the router entirely. The key takeaway? States and small offices often rely on default configs. Out-of-date firmware is a ticking time bomb. If a regime this closed off can't secure its infrastructure, what about your home router? In late 2022, Perry disappeared from forums. Rumors say he was arrested, but no official record ties him to federal charges. He deleted his deep web identity. Cyber researchers combed logs, nothing definitively tied to him, but the legacy remains. He made one country go dark, and he sparked a global conversation on who controls the internet. His story raises tough questions. Vigilante justice or public service? Reckless attacks or forced reform? In digital spaces, we're all vulnerable. Governments, corporation, and yes, you and me. Every tool can be used for good or harm. Our job as digital citizens is knowing the difference. We must demand secure devices, transparent networks, and accountability. From our routers to our leaders. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was GhostPillow a hero or criminal? Could one person really reshape global cybersecurity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll feature top replies in the next episode. And if you haven't already subscribed, ring the bell and share this video with anyone who cares about staying safe online. Because when the internet falters, even for a day, it affects every one of us. Thanks for watching. On Paul's Cyber Files, we go beyond the headlines to uncover the real tech, real people, and real lessons behind cyber incidents. Next time, the untold story of a whistleblower who exposed a global espionage network while working at a coffee shop. Don't miss it. Paul Cyber signing out.